Donald Trump was having a meltdown at 12:30 a.m., making deranged post after deranged post as his regime appears to be covering up U.S. casualties, or at least very serious injuries, and his catastrophic escalation of the war in Iran. Here's what we are learning. A third medical evacuation mission from the Middle East took place in the last 5 days. A U.S. Air Force C-17A Globemaster conducted 2 patient pickups in Saudi Arabia before continuing to Ramstein Air Base in Germany. Now, the U.S. says there's no casualties and don't even pay attention to what's happening here. But earlier this week, there was another medevac mission that appeared to rendezvous with a patient as well. When you look at some of the kind of satellite and air traffic data. Now, this does not independently confirm that there are indeed combat casualties, but as this one account notes, it does raise a lot of serious questions. What is actually going on? And of course, Donald Trump wants to distract from that. He wants to distract from the fact that the strategic petroleum reserves continue to be depleted. So what does Donald Trump, a WMD, weapon of mass distraction, do? Well, he's posting videos of himself at 12:30 a.m., bragging that he's #1 on TikTok, as he calls TikTok, even though he's not #1. I don't even know what data he's talking about. He's not #1. He's posting weird videos of himself from like the early 90s. And it's like, Donald Trump is a trailblazer. He's posting these weird photos of like the Trump 250 Grand Prix, whatever the hell he's doing now. He's turning Washington, D.C. into like a racetrack. He's posting weird videos of Dan Scavino, one of his top advisors, bowling. I mean, he posted that at 12:37 a.m. This video of Dan Scavino bowling, which I'm not going to play. Let me just show you a short clip of like what the TikTok video is. Look, I'm #1 on TikTok, everybody. Don't pay attention to the catastrophic war. Don't pay attention to the fact that I'm crashing the economy. Don't pay attention to the fact that the United States, by the way, just imposed 25% across the board tariffs on Brazil. Yeah, last night when you were sleeping, the Trump regime imposed 25% tariffs on Brazil because the Trump regime wants to install Flavio Bolsonaro, the insurrectionist former president Jair Bolsonaro's kid, to become the leader. So Trump and Bolsonaro's kid coordinated tariffs to inflict pain on Brazil in order to extort Brazil. And that was implemented last night as part of Marco Rubio's attempt to work with Donald Trump to dominate the Western Hemisphere in a new form of extortive imperialism that we're seeing right now. When Donald Trump calls that the Don Roe Doctrine, just straight up trying to destroy the Western Hemisphere. Let me just show you first this video that Donald Trump made of him saying, I'm #1 on TikTok. Here, just play a short clip of it.
I'm #1 on TikTok. Can you believe it? I'm #1. Look at those numbers.
And then this was a short clip of the video. Again, he's releasing these videos at midnight into 1 a.m. Here, play this clip.
Would make a less daring man shudder.
To think about the arc of where he's been in, it's like some sort of mythical story or something.
And these weird photos of himself with this Grand Prix race thing. Look, the American people see what's going on. In the latest Harvard-Harris poll right here, when the question was, this is the Independents, is the economy today better or worse than it was when Biden was president? Overwhelmingly, 59% to 41% say the economy was better under former President Biden. Now, let's be honest in the sense that the first 2 years under former President Biden, it was rough. Inflation was high. You can't deny that. However, it was because he was the firefighter putting out the arson. He had to fix what Trump destroyed during Donald Trump's first term, when Trump didn't only mishandle COVID, Trump caused catastrophic calamity. Biden had to come in, be an adult, fix it. He did fix it. He left with 3% inflation. Now inflation's significantly higher. Inflation was going to be at 2%. Trump tariffed the world, is involved in this catastrophic war in Iran that he entered into with Netanyahu that he wants to escalate. And the American people are suffering. It's obvious we're way worse off than we were under former President Biden. And just while Donald Trump's making those deranged posts, while it appears there's a cover-up of casualties taking taking place. Let me just play for you this video. This is some of the scenes from Tehran last night during an extensive U.S. bombing campaign. And there was also outside of Tehran, Iran had its air defenses where it was shooting at the U.S. planes. But first, let me show you these scenes from Tehran. Let's play it. Now we'll just show you A, which is the scenes just outside of Tehran. But I thought Donald Trump said that he obliterated all of Iran's anti-aircraft and air defense systems. It seems like they're shooting stuff out there. It seems like they certainly got a defense system. And again, as I said before, we know that there are MEDEVAC planes in the area attached to the U.S. that are going from the Middle East to Germany. What they're doing, we don't know. But anyway, let me play this clip. Then Donald Trump made this weird post. Iran has allowed an American citizen who was wrongfully detained in December 2024 under the presidency of Sleepy Joe Biden to leave the country. She's now safely outside of Iran and in good condition. The United States appreciates this gesture of goodwill by the Iranian president. What are you even talking about? You appreciate the goodwill by what? By bombing Tehran, by bombing right next to a children's hospital last night where a children's cancer treatment center had to be evacuated while you were attacking a mineral water facility in Iran. Oh, and by the way, late last night, Donald Trump bragging how much he loves data centers, right? He goes, everybody loves data centers. Trump says it's liquid gold. Trump says one of the biggest driving forces in the future for jobs are data centers. They're big, strong, bold. They're money machines. They're cash cows. They're liquid gold, he says. They will lower taxes and they create record-setting jobs. Really, it's kind of the opposite. If you want to know why there's a jobs recession right now, it's because AI data centers are wiping out jobs, and also your tariffs against the world are destroying hospitality jobs. I can go on and on and on. Then Donald Trump goes, they, the data centers, must pay for their own water and power, and any leftover goes back to the state and local communities. They're tremendous wins, Donald Trump says, for states and communities. Donald Trump is saying the data centers are the greatest thing for the communities. Why don't you ask communities where there are data centers, how that's going for their electrical prices, how that's going for their health, how that's going for the community in general, how it's going for pollution and for the noise. You see communities saying data centers, data centers. Quite the contrary. And by the way, where the hell are the Democrats on this, or anybody? This should be an issue that's so easy. It's handed to you on a silver platter, not because it's the politically expedient thing to do, because it's the right thing to do. Oh, by the way, that's why I wrote this book. WTF America right here. That's one of the exact reasons. You know, some of these things just aren't political issues. I mean, it's just WTF America. I wrote this with my brothers. I'll put you scan the QR code, pre-order it. The book comes out in October. I'll talk more about it in a moment as well. But it's like WTF, like you hear what Trump's saying, just stand up. And by the way, that's why I like people like Senator Ossoff, who's out there fighting and standing up. And there are some Democratic fighters as well. And then look, WTF, you've got Donald Trump saying yesterday, you know what I like about my big, beautiful bill? It helped my friends buy private jets. It helped my friends. Yeah. WTF America. Here, play this clip right here.
We delivered 100% expensing, and that expensing, I think, we write it off in 1 year. I have friends that bought things that, frankly, they didn't need. I have a friend that never flew in a private plane in his life, and he ended up going out buying a very expensive private plane because of expensing 1 year.
Then his energy secretary, Chris Wright, goes on, and he's like, the data centers are the greatest tool we have now to stop the rise in electricity prices. Data centers use electricity. They don't make Why is the energy secretary saying data centers make electricity? WTF, America. Right? WTF. Pre-order. Here, play this clip.
And of course, unfortunately, Governor Hochul has it exactly backwards. Data centers are the greatest tool we have right now to stop the rise of electricity prices and ultimately to bring them back down. It's the Democrat green energy policies that have driven energy prices up in New York State, actually shrunk their total electricity production. I mean, they banned fracking. They blocked a pipeline to bring natural gas, the biggest source of energy in New York. They closed the Indian Point nuclear reactor. They passed these crazy green energy mandates and an insane climate law. So the energy is expensive in New York and now sparse because of bad Democrat policies, nothing to do with data centers. In fact, that's the solution, not the problem.
Then you have Donald Trump posting yesterday, again, while the American people are suffering, while Americans are psychologically tortured from this regime. This is a real post. The Trump coin, everybody. Here, play this clip. Yeah. WTF, what the hell? Then this MAGA Republican senator is out there. MAGA Republican senator, she's out there and she's asked, in your mind, are Senator Ossoff and Warnock duly elected? Here, play this clip.
In your mind, are Senators Ossoff and Warnock duly chosen and sworn?
I don't know.
Yeah, WTF, America. And then Donald Trump says, Iran wants to settle so badly. Here, play this clip.
They want to settle so badly. They don't like what we're doing. And they do want to settle. We'll find out whether or not we settle with them or we just finish it off.
And he says, Iran, they want to settle soon. They want to do a deal. They want to settle. They want to they'll be defeated. Here, just play this other clip of him.
Booming, and we'll have Iran defeated soon. They'll be defeated very soon. And then I guess it'll be even better. But, even during this, it's been amazing. I mean,
I know, so utterly embarrassing. And then again, late last night, as I noted earlier, you had Marco Rubio announce 25% tariffs on most Brazilian imports. And if you're saying, Ben, I thought the Supreme Court declared the tariffs unlawful, you'd be right. So the Trump regime tried one scheme, tried another scheme, and now they did something that they call Section 301 investigations, where even though America has a trade surplus with Brazil, a surplus in the amount of nearly $450 million, the Trump regime declared the trade tactics by Brazil to be an unlawful cartel harming the United States. President Lula of Brazil, who's in an election against Jair Bolsonaro's son. Jair Bolsonaro is convicted of engaging in an insurrection, and he's been basically thrown in prison by the Brazilian Supreme Court for the rest of his life. Lula's running against Jair's kid, Flavio Bolsonaro. Lula leads by about, depending on the poll, there's 2 rounds. The first round's October, then there's a runoff, but anywhere from 10 to 20%. But it could potentially narrow. So Donald Trump, Rubio, the Trump regime wants the insurrection people. So they root for the Bolsonaro. They're trying to push the Bolsonaros. So even here, what Lula says right here, this will go down in history as one of the worst days in relations between the United States and Brazil. This happened last night. And then Lula says exactly what it is, that this is part of the plot with the active collaboration of the Bolsonaro family, driven by electoral objectives. One cannot love Brazil only when we win elections. Protecting our sovereignty is an obligation that stands above all parties and all trends. By the way, in WTF America, I focus a lot on the international issues as well, not just the gamesmanship of day-to-day politics, what's going on internationally. So hit subscribe, help us get to 7 million subscribers. Get a copy, pre-order, WTF America. There's the QR code. Just scan the QR code and pre-order it now. Thanks for watching. Appreciate you, and hopefully you like the book. I spent a long time, a lot of sleepless nights writing this book. Thanks for watching, everybody. We appreciate you. Let's get to 7 million subscribers to it. Hit the QR code. Breaking news right now. My brothers and I wrote a book. It's called WTF America. And well, doesn't that just say it all? It comes out officially this October, but you can pre-order your copy today. Just scan the QR code or click the link in the description below.